Welcome to Greek Words in Scripture. This is Lesson 5. Let's finish our introduction to the alphabet, look at a few resources, and then look at our first word. These comments that I'm going to make about the alphabet are my personal observations and probably have little, if any, traction in linguistic circles. You might remember that I said zeta, eta, and theta were a triplet. They all do occur next to each other, but there is another one, beta, that might be included as a quartet. There's another triplet, phi, chi, and psi, but again I need to amend that. There's also the letter psi and pi. I know I have probably not been consistent with the letter mu. I've always heard it called mu, probably because of hearing it pronounced mu for most of my life, and the English words like museum and muon. And it seems a little awkward and odd to call it moo, like a cow makes a noise. And so we have mu, nu, and even tau. Something becomes apparent when we look at Omicron and Omega as O micro and O mega. Could that be possible that it's little o and big O, O micro, O mega? All words referenced will be out of the King James Version or the Authorized Version of the Bible. In the late 1800s, a man by the name of Strong listed all of the words in the Bible in the King James Version and gave them a number. So it's fairly easy to find the word in the Bible by looking up the word, and it'll give a reference and take you to a definition. The Concordance is a fairly large book, and so it's difficult to manipulate. At some sacrifice of integrity and depth, I've gone to an electronic Bible and concordance, which we will use in these lessons. This app is available in a download for Android, smartphone, and iPhones. It's also available in a computer version called eSword. We will also be making use of the King James Version of the Interlinear Greek-English New Testament. Opening the book, we see the main text presenting the Greek language of the Scripture with English translations below the Greek words, and we see the English version in the margin. Here we see a sample of the text with the Greek words above and the translated English word below. I hope you might begin to recognize some of the Greek letters and also see some of the English words underneath. For example, the first word that's at the top there, dia, delta, iota, alpha. And we see that word translated into English right below it. But in this lesson, let's look at the word translated as Christ, starting with the Greek letter chi. I didn't want to do this in this lesson, but here we are. The first letter is chi. The second letter is a very poorly printed rho. Imagine the difficulty of translating or reading a manuscript that had curious letters and faded on ancient parchment. This image is only a few years old, and it's printed by a printing press. So we have Chi, Rho, Iota, Sigma, Tau, Omicron, Upsilon. We are in the book of John, chapter 1, verse 17. So if we look in my sword, we see the verse, "For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Jesus Christ." So looking in the concordance section of my sword, we see that the word Christ is assigned the Greek G5547. And when we click this reference number, we see the information for G5547. And we see the Greek word Chi, Rho, Iota, Sigma, Tau, Omicron, Sigma. It's a transliteration of the word Christos, and it means anointed. Christ was the Messiah, the Son of God. He was anointed. We see G3323 is Messias, which is a transliteration of the Hebrew word H4899, Messiah. Messiah is the Hebrew word for anointed one. It says the origin of this Greek word is G5548, which is Chi, Rho, Iota, Omega, Kurio. The definition is to anoint. And so we see the word Messiah and the word Christ both come from the word to anoint. And if it's expressed as a name, it could be the anointed one. I failed to mention that the apps for eSword and MySword are free.